there's 100-year storms, 50-year storms, the smaller storm. In the smaller storms, it'll provide quite a bit of assistance. And that bigger storm, it just isn't big enough to bring it down like a foot, foot and a half at Martin's Pond. And North Reading is very flat topographically, so there's really not a lot of drop between the two versus like you saw in Vermont, those places that were all, that's why, because it's such a steep place, the water shoot down. So not in the higher storms, but a lot of smaller storms. And the way the cost benefit works, it's adds up all the storms over the history we know. So sometimes a 25-year storm causes a lot of damage. So from saving people money and damage to their home, it does have a benefit that way. But unfortunately, the bigger storm, to make it big enough to pass a 100-year storm, it would flood people downstream.
Well, again, any relief is better than no relief, and
Right,
they
plus
certainly.
the culvert's gotta be repaired anyway.
Like I said, if it falls down, it's a lot cheaper to fix. Permitting is expedited.
Sheila Marie Imports Company. Greg, what's the status? And again, this was the company that was subject to the strike out on Concord Street.
Yeah, we're actually owed, I totaled up the number, and I thought it was a little bit, it's about $59,000 that remains as the outstanding balance. You recall that back in July, the company authorized some police details out there, and as a matter of fact, they had made verbal assurances to the chairman and myself that they would be good on the staffing that was proposed by the police department. And we've learned that, in fact, that they paid a portion of the balance, but there's a remaining balance that's due. And a company had given notice to the chief of police that they were, may go out of business. So what we did was council drafted up a letter, which is a demand for this amount of money. And we've sent the demand off to Sheila Marie Imports and their parent company, which is a group called Atlanta Foods International, of course, located in Atlanta, Georgia. And I've asked the council for an update in terms of whether we've received a response. But I do know no money has been received at this point.
And the company is still in town or not?
My understanding is they've actually closed their doors. So this company that existed down on 35 Concord Street is no more.
It's absolutely outrageous.
And it's been put out of business by?
It's been put out, and again, unfortunately, the labor action by their drivers, which was augmented by Local 25 Teamsters by sending in their own group of Teamsters to augment their picket, which again increased the cost and need for the details, obviously did not serve a very useful purpose. They actually put these people out of business, put these employees out of a job.
Set in the picket line,
And,
in the unemployment line.
And the vast majority of the people that were in that picket line were not employees of this particular company. And I think the tactics employed by Local 25 should be noted as being extremely harmful to the local economy, extremely harmful to a local business. And I just think it's absolutely outrageous that this caused the local business to fold their tent and leave town, and force the members that they represent, are supposed to represent and protect their jobs, force them out of a job and out of the community. And I think if those members of Local 25 and that local business had it to do over again, they'd turn the clock back about 6 months and maybe look at a different union to represent them. I mean, unions serve a very useful purpose, but in this particular case, they totally undermine the purpose of protecting each member's rights and jobs, and in fact, cost them to their jobs, cost this community jobs, cost the business to go out of business, and I think they were totally misguided in their efforts, and all from a bunch of people that weren't even employed by that corporation. So.
And I might add, Steve, that this business had a plan to double their size next year.
My guess is they'll be doing it somewhere else.
Absolutely.
They're not going to be doing it here. And I think our local members of the union that are represented by Local 25 should take pause and notice as to what occurred, and go to their union representatives, speak to them about it, and if they feel the same way that at least I do, and I'm sure the rest of you do, express their concerns in relation to how their union, went ahead and, as far as I'm concerned, misrepresented their membership and did them a disservice. And it should give them pause in relation to who's actually representing them and who they really want to be sitting at the table with on their side of the table. 'Cause I know I would, if I remember that union, and I'm a union member. So,
Steve, I couldn't agree with you more on that. It also affects our taxes due to a vacancy in the building.
personal property taxes.
Right, so our revenue is being impacted, so it affects the town as well in many different ways. But it's really sad to see a company go from 40 employees to possibly 80 employees down to 0 employees. And we're caught holding a bill of 59, or is it 59,000?
59,000.
59,000. I think the total cost was like over 100,000.
It was.
$120,000.
Yeah, it was a lot of
Okay.
money.
Yeah, the only people, people made out on this, but it wasn't for the good of anybody. It hurt everybody, as far as, I'm concerned.
Anything else, Steve?
Yeah, well, just one more thing, and I have a bone to pick with a local gas station. Yes, again, I'm only picking on them because they're the brand name. And I really, it's something that we should look at. I don't know how we can do it. Maybe we should call in the representative from the local franchise here and get an explanation. I do a lot of traveling in my business and travel around. And this Hess gas station is consistently 15 to 25 cents above other area Hess gas stations.
Right.
So I believe the demographics of the town of North Reading help drive the price, and again, set the prices in North Reading, because the 7-Eleven, which is usually 2 cents above, is set off of the Hess prices, and the same down the street. So we have a stretch of road here on Route 28 where there is no competition for about a 3-4 mile stretch of road. And I believe they're taking advantage of the community and their location. You go to Wilmington, it's cheaper. You go to Peabody, it's cheaper. You go to the Hess station, I'm talking about the Hess stations in Wilmington
Yeah.
and West Peabody, over there, Lowell Street and West Peabody. The other day, 22-cent difference in the price of gasoline between those two Hess gas
That
stations.
gas station is always a lot cheaper,
So-
the one just off of Route
Right,
1.
right, but it's still Hess.
No,
you know?
no, I'm just
You
saying.
know,
yeah.
and again, Route 1 in Saugus, so the competition does drive some
Oh,
of the marketing.
absolutely.
But, to me, when we get into price gouging, I think, at some point in time, we have to act a little bit locally here and hold them accountable for it. I have no intention of buying any gas at the Hess gas station here in North Reading for as long as I can hold out. Unless my gas tank is on empty and I'm on fumes, I'm not gonna pull in there. And I would urge other people to do the same thing. Make them feel the pinch right now and compete and bring the prices down to a reasonable level. And I think if we act locally, maybe they'll get their attention. Maybe we should send an invitation to them, come before the board and explain their pricing. Because, I can't believe that they don't get the same gas out of Chelsea, that the guy in Peabody gets, the guy on Route 1 in Saugus gets, the guy over in Wilmington gets, all Hess gas stations at substantially less prices. And I believe the prices that they're establishing are setting the stage for the prices of the other gas stations on Route 28. Why not? If they're only that price, the other local gas stations are gonna get, which again, they're not market brand stations. 7-Eleven is not a market brand station. Best and the guy at the top of the hill in Reading, they're not.
Well,
They're all independents, and they're all working their prices off of this other Hess, so.
well, we're trying to push buy local. That's
I would
not
like to
helpful.
buy local, but if the local people, again, who are not local businessmen
Right,
necessarily here, are gouging the public, I think, I don't mind using the bully pulpit here to make a statement once in a while. And when I saw a 22-cent price difference in the price of gas within 5-mile radius, or 3.5 mile radius, I don't know, apparently it touched a nerve with me.
I
And,
guess so.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, 22 cents is nothing, because I've seen 44-cent differences. I mean, it's with Wilmington, it's 3.55,
Yep.
on 38 there, and of course, I talked about Middleton.
Yep.
It's, it was down to 3.51 one day, and that was
3.42.
a 47.
Right, so I mean, I think it's incumbent upon us to hold our local franchisees somewhat accountable, as we did a few years back with the Dunkin' Donuts, when they weren't offering the little value meals in North Reading, and everyone else was. And we held out a little bit, and they now offered. So, I don't know what the pleasure is of the board, but to me, why not send off a letter to whoever the franchisee is and ask them for an explanation on their pricing, and maybe they wanna come in give the public an explanation. And until they do, don't buy your gas at Hess.
Yeah,
What's the wishes of the board?
yeah, why not?
Sure.
Greg, could you have a letter drafted?
Yeah.
and I'll sign
Other than that, I'm all set.
it? Mr. Prisco.
Big night for you.
Nice.
Big
You
night.
only have a minute because
All
you
right,
took
I'll-
all your time.
I'll be as quick as I can. But also, I need to mention Lieutenant Jones' retirement and Officer Herta's retirement. Is it inappropriate to invite them to town meeting, give them at least, I know we're very busy that night, but just to take a minute to bring them up front and congratulate them and thank them for all their years of service? Is that something we don't typically do?
We don't necessarily typically do it, but it doesn't mean we shouldn't have done it in the past,
I
and
mean, I think it would be nice. I mean, we owe it to, 32 years, 28 years, for Officer Herta. I think we owe it to them, to bring them up front, take a minute just to thank them for their service, because, I know they hear it from us and they'll probably read about it in the transcript, but really to give the opportunity for the residents that they actually protected and they serviced all these years, to give them a proper send-off and a proper opportunity to say thank you. I'd like to make that request if we could.
Well, we certainly can ask.
Okay. Just want to point out again, the public notice for the listing of parcels of town-owned property that are up for sale. The hearing is, I believe, in this room on September 19th, starting at 7 PM. So those folks that haven't heard about it, go get the public listing and please attend the meeting. We talked about past meetings, but I don't think we ever settled in on a date for our annual workshop. Is it possible we could pull out our calendars and try to narrow down a date before we get involved with the hustle and bustle of the holidays, which are right after October town meeting? I hate to say it, but it is right around the corner.
When did we have our last meeting? Was it in February?
Well, that was we did one in, I believe, the November timeframe, then we did a second follow-up in February.
Well, our scheduled meetings in October, the normal cycle would be the 3rd, which is
town meeting.
town meeting, and the 17th. There is still a couple of Mondays. 'Cause the 31st is
Monday, the 10th is a holiday.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't necessarily, I don't think we did it on a Monday, our first workshop, right? I thought we did it
No, it
maybe on
didn't have to be,
Thursday.
no.
Since it's a workshop and, I'd like to open it up to maybe even a Wednesday or a Thursday evening. I'm not sure, Greg, how that works in yours.
Could you just give me some dates?
Wednesday the 26th,
Wednesday, the 26th, I am not available,
perfect night.
so it might be a good night for you to have it. Might be a good night
No,
to
we
make some
can't do that.
progress.
Can't do it
Not
without
gonna
you.
go.
Wednesday, the 19th, you're away, Greg. At least, unless that's
Yeah, I would
changed.
suggest we
The
not do
27th?
anything until after town meeting.
Right.
All right, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's what I was saying.
We're talking October night, we're talking October night.
October 26th, October 27th, actually, is Thursday. I don't know how that works out for guys.
Thursdays are typically bad for me, but
Okay.
25th?
the 25th would work.
Tuesday?
Steve, are you around?
Tuesday, 25th, yep.
Tentatively
I could
set
pencil
that?
you in.
Well, thank you.
I'm open.
What time are you thinking?
Do it at 6, and we'll do it at another facility. Maybe we can get over the Hillview.
Yeah, you're right. Hillview seems to work for it.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
It'll be a public meeting, but
Tuesday, the 25th?
Yep.
What just happened there?
Thank you. Let's see.
You got more?
Yeah, just a couple quick ones. 9/11 event, Sunday.
Yes.
I do have the agendas. If folks want them, I can email them out to you.
All-day event.
It starts at
All-day
12,
events.
and I really think the bulk of it really is between 12 and 3, and then they have a band playing from, I think, late afternoon, 4 o'clock and on. But please, I really would love to see the public come out and support this event. I assume the board is all gonna be there. Bob, I know you're a guest speaker, so looking forward to your speech. I will not haze you in any way.
I hope not,
Haggle
because I
you
have to
or-
go up against Senator Tar.
I saw that in the agenda.
So you have
May as well
30,
con-
so
may as
you
well
have 30
concede
seconds,
right- You may as well concede right now.
I can see.
but it limits your time anyhow.
But if you would like it,
guess
I can.
it's spread, my understanding it's kind of spread out, too. It's
Yeah,
not-
I'll send everybody, I'll
Yeah.
email everyone the
We
agenda.
got it. Yeah,
I have it with me.
Yeah,
I'll email it when I get home. And the last